No worries, no worries, no worries. Oh, yeah. Nah, I mean, I can just stay muted.
Are you guys doing that through Discord or?
But now we're okay. Just giving me a second trying to get rid of the stupid layout around us, which is irritating. But we thank you all for tuning in. Give us a quick second to adjust. But we hope everybody's doing all right.
Get in the pit. I'm all sweaty. I've been working
Nice.
for a living.
Anyway, I'm joined here by Jeff of Jeffrey's Comics and Mike, who
shoot.
is a
Except I
independent
messed
comic
up.
book writer and a all-around badass, as well as Jeff is too. Everybody here is a
Hold on.
badass.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm doing some stuff here. Let me edit this. Oh crap. Edit. Okay. And then right, 1 sec, paste, boom, done. All right, there's that. Now I got to do it on Facebook real quick. But keep talking, guys. Sorry.
1 second.
Technical difficulties.
That's what it seems like. Well, we're just getting started right here because I'm trying to figure out how to cut out the stupid fucking
Right now, boom. I'm gonna close this door because my son has discovered X-Men.
Oops.
All right, let me see here. All right, I'm here.
There we go.
All right, I'm here.
I was gonna say, Jeff, if you can, Mike, if you can,
Mike?
you don't have to, but if you feel like I'm blurring your background, because if you show comics, or I'll pull them up online, because we could do that right now, and we could show off.
Whatever. It's all good. It's all good. You know, we're still experiencing growing pains until we're 9 months old. We're still in the womb, as far as I'm concerned. You know.
There we go. I put a cool overlay on us. It helps out a little bit. It hides everything a little bit.
Believe it or not, I did some prep today
Ooh.
for the show. I know it doesn't seem like it yet. But...
Feel free to if you guys have any links or anything you want me to play, any trailers, because I can share that with us all and everything too.
Oh crap! I don't have any of that handy. I didn't do that much prep.
I read comics.
I
did read comics too.
I read comics. I did that today. I do have some fun stuff that you could put in like later, like the Maxine thing that happened last Wednesday, which
was stupid.
That's not the first thing I want to talk about, but there's other stuff. Are we going now? We live?
Yeah, we are live. We are live, and well, actually, gentlemen, if I would say, if you can pull up either YouTube or Twitch on your phone so you can see the chat as well, I can actually try and share that with you, but it would just be weird because then we'd all see it. But if you go on Twitch or YouTube, you could see the chat, so then when people are chiming in, because I know somebody's already saying what's up to us and everything.
Oh, people are talking already?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
I have two phones, so there we go.
All right. You know what? If y'all could just read it to me and tell me who's saying what, I'll if I need to, I'll...
Sounds like the plan. So, anyway, gentlemen, this is our first live broadcast. A bit hasty. I apologize in getting things out late. I was had a busy Sunday. We got a cat today, so I got a kitten, and we were trying to get him adjusted. Huh?
Show me your kitty.
Oh, yes. I will show you the kitty.
It's
not just sitting on your lap like a James Bond villain?
No. Oh, yes. Let's see.
Is the cat in the house?
Yeah, well, I don't know. Can you see that okay, or does that look kind of washed out?
No, that's nothing.
You can have a cat if it's just a picture on your phone.
Well, the cat's in the house. This is a separate room. I got the dog in here so we didn't want to introduce them right away because the dog's cool with cats, but he has fleas. And the kitten is only 10 weeks old, so you can't give it like flea treatment or anything. So we're like, we got to keep them separated.
All right. So coming soon to a podcast. What'd you name him? Or her?
His name is Alfie.
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 Like
Where's
from
it
that.
from?
Yeah.
He's a cool cat. He's got big gremlin ears, though.
Where'd you get the name, Alfie?
That was just his name. And
he
we
already had the name.
Aye. And we liked it.
That's a new
What?
thing. I remember going to adopt a dog with my mom. They didn't all have names on the thing, but somebody found out that if you give them names, they're more likely to get adopted. So now they all have names.
Yeah. Well, so the pound gave him a different name. We picked him up from the foster that gave him Alfie, and we're like, you know what, we like Alfie. So
That's cool.
yeah, and then huh?
Sounds British to me.
Alfie.
Like British. Nothing wrong with British. I love British people, but I'm just saying.
Whoa! Don't alienate our fans from across the pond, okay? This is a far-reaching podcast, and we do not need to start alienating people.
It will be. Mark my words.
Right?
But yeah.
So, gentlemen, how are you all doing? How was your weekend so far? How has this month in comics been treating you?
Little G, you start?
Okay. Let's see. The X-Men kind of limped out of Krakoa and started their new, or not quite started yet. They've got a couple transitionary books that are pretty big stinkers, and just can't wait for the relaunch to actually start. But I'm also enjoying quite a few of the books that I've talked about before. They continue to just be great. The G.I. Joe books, the Transformers books. My pick of the month would definitely be Boy Wonder, which is a DC Black Label book by Uni Ba, and it's retelling of the origin of Damian Wayne, like through the lens of Japanese folk tales. It's very, very good.
Really?
And I can't wait for every issue. That's a top of the pile book for sure. That's definitely my pick of the month.
Boy Wonder. So Juni Ba.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wow, this art is phenomenal.
It looks like Mike Mignola. It's pretty stunning. It's a fantastic comic book. I cannot recommend it enough. I am excited for it to be in graphic novel form because I think that's an easier sell.
Jesus. Okay, that was stupid.
Well, that's a Cliff Chang cover.
Okay, hold on, everybody. Trying to share stuff with you. Bear with us, because now I have no clue what. Zoom is irritating. I swear. The live format is running into some technical difficulties here. Because now I have no clue how to unshare that screen. Does anybody know how to work fucking Zoom?
I was, speaking of technical difficulties, I was at a concert Friday, a Kunst show. And, I met these new friends there, and, we took pictures. We didn't know each other. And they're like, oh, share the pictures with me. Share the pictures. And I was like, I didn't really want to ask them their number or anything, right? And then she's like, oh, just give me your phone. I'll airdrop it. I was like, oh, no, you don't want to go airdropping anything out of there.
Right?
Good Lord. You're gonna see
look at that mask.
All kinds of stuff you don't need to see.
Yeah, real quick. Entropy in Comics says greetings, and we say thank you for tuning in, as well as Pirate Pop. Shared a link on their IG, and we appreciate that fully.
Sweet. Entropy, I know him. That's my boy, Kevin. Hi.
Hell yeah. So I'm just
huge comic collector.
Nice. I'm just
all the places.
Yeah, the problem is I'm just trying to figure out how to share things with you so that this makes sense. Because I'm trying to multiple. Let's share your options. Whoops.
Well, we can put it in later or something.
Oh no, this isn't. Well, I'm not gonna edit this now.
Okay. All right.
StreamYard for future broadcasts. Okay, I will have to do this.
Thank you, Kevin.
Yeah, thanks, thanks, Kevin. Appreciate it. And then again, thank you for tuning in. This is I'm Shane, Vulgar Display Gaming, and we started this whole comic book podcast because I've had a pull with Jeff for a very long time, and I met Mike at the new format of picking up comics from Jeff.
That's right. Over at Collector Legion, over by the Galleria.
Wednesday night from 6 to 8, we're hanging out, talking about comic books.
See us in person.
Yeah,
I know. I know. I'm just trying to.
If we say offend you in the next hour, you could come slap us. You have my permission.
Aye. Okay. One second.
Or hug us.
Oh, what the fuck? No. Portion.
Nice, Kevin.
Well, what did he say?
He said he bought comic books from Dad.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Kevin's been around.
Okay.
He used to buy comics at my house. My shop went out of business. He used to come every Wednesday night. We had it was like a drug den, my apartment. I had a stream of like, I don't know, about 8 or 9 cats that would come through. And I mean, it was a living. It's cool. Like the cool thing about your shop going out of business is you don't have to pay rent, right, Jeffrey?
Yep, that's nice.
It's the future of comic shops, I think.
Yeah.
While you figure that out,
keep going. Let's talk some comics real quick. Yeah,
I'll
keep
just
going.
talk to people. There's some cool stuff coming up in the month of July. Of course, San Diego Comic-Con is happening. Right? That's at the end of July. And if you didn't get tickets or haven't booked a hotel, we all know that's a little expensive, but don't give up hope, folks. Saturday, July 6th. I forget the name of the gallery, but we can look it up and post it later. But there's a Hellboy art show, 30th anniversary art show happening in LA.
Mm-hmm.
The grand opening ceremony is going to be July 6th, this upcoming Saturday. I'll be there. Gary Diocampo put it together, a friend of mine, who's a huge Mike Mignola fan, huge Guillermo del Toro fan, huge fan of many things. If you go to his Instagram feed, it's Gary Dio, I think. You'll see him hanging and hobnobbing with all the big movie stars from Mia Goth to Guillermo del Toro most of the time. But anyway, Gary's got great taste in art. He's a great guy, and Mike Mignola's a great guy and a great artist. So, and Hellboy's a great creation. So it's just all great, and that's where we'll be this Saturday. Me and Stephanie and maybe my buddy Guy and whoever else. It's free, and I'll find out the exact name of it. But it's on my Instagram, Atomic Basement One. Yeah, and we could put it on. Later.
Kevin also pointed out for us it's the last night to get the early bird special for LA Comic-Con.
That's
right. If you want to go to LA Comic-Con, go get your tickets tonight and you'll save a couple bucks.
Get on that. And the show's earlier this year too. I think it's in September or something. September or October. It's usually in December. And then what else is going on this month? Beverly Hills Cop is going to be on Netflix Wednesday.
Oh, that's the new one, right?
I'm excited. I love Eddie Murphy. I will follow Eddie Murphy. I don't know. I just love Eddie Murphy. I was going to promote Maxine, and I am still going to sort of promote it.
But you're bitter about what happened. Tell us about your fun.
This sounds like a story.
Well, let's set it up. Little G, you were right there, bro.
Yeah.
Wednesday, for whatever reason, they do these like film premieres on Wednesdays. How many times have I had to bail out on a Wednesday night on you? I'm normally there every Wednesday, except I bailed out for Fall Guy. I bailed out for Bad Boys 4. It's not called Bad Boys for Life. It's Bad Boys Ride or Die. I bailed out for The Crow, the new Crow movie. So I get this text at like literally 7:30, and I was down to like hang out till 8 like normal. I get this text and it's like, Maxine says, be here at this address by 8 o'clock, half hour, right? So I'm like, oh shit. So I go pick up my homie Chris Brandt because we were supposed to hang out that night, and I was like, let's go. And he's like, oh, I don't want to go deal with that. And I was like, dude, were we going to sit in my house and look at each other all night? Let's go see this movie. So we get up there, dude, and I got footage, and maybe you could put the footage on somehow later, or it's on my Facebook. But we're there. It's at the SAG building, the Screen Actors Guild building,
Yeah.
up on Wilshire. And the security guy doesn't know shit. He's like, I don't know nobody named Maxine. You know, I don't know who she is. She's not here. I promise you, Matt. And we're like, no, it's a movie. There's like 200 people there, right?
Yeah.
And I showed the guy the text. I was like, look, it's a movie from A24. It's Maxine. And he's like, they have not told us anything. It's not like them, this company. They have not told us anything about this, you know. Then suddenly somebody sees something outside. And they're like, oh, so we all like rush outside. And it's a stupid projection on the side of the SAG building that says, I will not accept a life that I do not deserve, which is what she always says in the mirror of these movies. And we're like sitting out there, and Chris is like, there's nothing happening. I was like, no, there's no way they would tell us to come out here just to see that. And that is exactly what it was. They just wanted us to see that. But so we tracked the projectionist down, and there's an interview, like a nice. I didn't get all Karen on. I was like, dude, this is some bullshit. And that's my tagline for Maxine. This is some bullshit. And I was gonna go see it, and like, Little G, you can attest to this. Usually, I get a nice
you were
big,
excited.
Well, I was excited, but I also like when Furiosa came out, they needed those 9 people that I brought to go see that movie. Same with Fall Guy. You know, I get hype when I get hype on a movie. I try to get all my friends to get hype, you know, and go see it with me. And it's an event, because I know, just like comic shops, movie theaters are suffering, and the film industry is suffering. So I maybe get even a little more excited than I normally would, or than I used to get back in, you know. I'm not saying I'm faking it, but like these stupid influencers that eat like a new cheeseburger at Burger King or whatever. It's like, it's not that fucking good. Come on. Oh my God, this blue cheeseburger at Burger King's the best thing ever. You know, those idiots, you know, you just want to slap them. I get like that for a movie that's about to come out that I want to do well. And I wanted Maxine to do well. But now I feel like, and this is something I'm always conscious of when I market things, but for myself and for my friends that do independent comics or records or whatever, there's got to be something there, man. Something that delivers an experience before you try to get people excited. That's why I hate Kickstarter. Like, you know, bring it. Give me something to chew on. So if I am doing something else and I get a text saying be here in a half hour, and I drop everything I'm fucking doing, right? As I'm sure most people that were there did. Have something for a T-shirt, something.
That's crazy.
It was so pointless because you sent me. I was like, "Fuck, man, you're going to the premiere. That's so cool." And you're like, "It was literally just to show us this shit on the side of the building."
Yeah.
And there's all this road construction out there. Like, if anybody looks up there, they could seriously like rear end. It's a bad place to do it. But anyway, I'm not going to go see it in theaters based on principle. And neither are, well, my friends will do what they do, but I'm not like rah, let's go see this. I will go see Deadpool Wolverine, and I'm excited about that until Deadpool fucks me like Maxine did. No, but you get jaded over stuff, like, you know, like normally you go do these things, there's something exciting, and you're only going to get burned so many times, man, you know.
Yeah. Well, that's crazy. Oh, you're missing an E.
Oh, sorry.
It's all right.
Oh, let me
just do Jeff.
Yep.
What are we doing?
No, that was the wrong picture.
See, Pirate Pop 7 says there's a Back to the Future cast.
Oh.
Is that at the SAG building?
LA Comic Con. Yep.
Oh, LA Comic Con.
Even what's his name? Marty McFly.
Yeah.
Michael J. Fox.
Yes.
He'll be there.
He has the name.
He just said.
Why this wasn't coming to me? Michael J. Fox sang with Coldplay.
I saw that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Played
Bless
guitar
his
too.
heart. Huh? He played guitar too?
Played guitar too. Yeah.
Wow. Well, it could only make Coldplay sound better.
Hmm.
Sorry, Coldplay fans. The only fans I'm afraid of Taylor Swift fans, but I am not afraid of Coldplay fans. Come at me, y'all. You guys want to talk about comedy?
Yes,
Yeah.
please. I'm just trying to do the technical aspect side because I was like, oh shit, this is not working as I thought it would be.
Mhm.
But
Well, it sounds like we got the good advice to use the different app for this.
yeah, we'll look into it next time. This is going good right now.
This whole experience is an advertisement for StreamYard, to not do it the way we are doing it.
It seems like it, but you know what? Hey, that's show business, people. You know, we are tuning in live. We are giving it to you raw. I've had a busy day. I just did a whole interview with another band and did like an album premiere with them, and like we went through the whole album. I was like, it was great, by the way. But I am just tired, and then like dealing with cats and stuff, and it was a very fun day. So
yeah, busy day.
I know, but so. This month of June, we had a bunch of stuff going on. You had your whole movie experience with Maxine. I just actually recently watched Pearl and X. I liked X a little bit more than I did Pearl, but Pearl explains the whole thing behind X and everything. But but after watching those two movies, it brings me to wonder, like, how does Maxine even fit in this universe?
I haven't seen Maxine, but I've seen those. So they made X 1st, and I don't know the timeline, but I do. They filmed it in New Zealand, where they don't have as many of the COVID restrictions as they had. They filmed it during COVID, so they didn't have as many COVID restrictions in New Zealand because New Zealand was very smart and they locked down early and they kind of curbed the crisis that was COVID in 2020, 2021, and they had the sets there, they had everything there. Spoiler alert, Mia Goth plays both the heroine
and the villain.
X as well as the villain. And to get into the villain's head, this old lady, she kind of composed this backstory for Pearl, who's the old lady in X. And so she collaborated with Ty West, the director. And since they were over there anyway and the sets were up, they just kind of went ahead and made Pearl, which is probably Pearl is almost. I mean, it's a beautiful movie.
That's such a cool story.
Yeah, but it's almost like it's not a bonus feature to X, but they came out like within 6 months of each other. They came out at a time when most movies weren't coming out in theaters. Most movies were streaming. It did get a very limited theatrical run. I think it made like $3 million or something like that. But the budget was only $1 million, so that's fine. Yeah. I'll be curious to see what Maxine does because it's.
Yeah, like I said, it's just. I don't know if you watch the movies, Jeff. They're horror movies.
I haven't seen them, but I've heard many people talk about them, so it feels like it must be a pretty big success when you take into account like streaming and all that.
Yeah. Just a quick take. I would say it's like a kind of a raunchy slasher movie. Mm-hmm. Safe to say that, right, Mike?
It is, but there's a lot of philosophy in it that I really like. There's a scene in X that I almost spoiled too much where, they're talking about like how can you they're making a porno movie out in the boondocks.
Oh, talking about like love and stuff. That scene.
Yeah, I'm like yeah, I'm with that. Like how can you watch your significant other F another guy or whatever, and they explain it in the movie in a way that almost makes sense.
But it would not make sense. Try selling that to a spouse, right? Like this movie said we could do this.
But there's also the fact that the old lady, her motivations for what she does, her youth has gone away, and I mean if you really sit and think, I watched X like 3 times. If you sit and think about it, it's like, wow, this is actually way deeper than than your traditional slasher pick. You
But
know?
well, they went back, and then when in Pearl, they gave her more motivation, and you're like, well, she's just kind of fits into the typical serial killer tropes, with hurting
Right.
animals, stuff like that. So it kind of wasn't that revolutionary or something different. I don't know. That's just my take on it.
And David Cornsweet is in Pearl. We all know he's Superman now, but he's pretty good. He's kind of the male lead in Pearl.
Yeah.
If you want to see what he's about, his chops.
Nice. What? Wait, who was he? Was he the husband?
He was the projectionist.
Oh, the projectionist.
Worked in the
That's
movie
Superman
theater, Pearl.
now?
That's Superman.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yep.
Huh.
Let's talk about Superman.
Yeah,
What do y'all think?
Oh, wait. Before we go into the movie stuff and the TV stuff, let's go over what we've read this month real quick.
Okay, sorry. You want me to start?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you go, Mike.
Yes, sir. I got all my books right here, too.
Because my battery might die soon too. But I read this today, and it's my pick hit of the month. I wrote about it earlier on Instagram. It's Grommets.
Yeah, see, look, this is why I said don't blur out your background, because your comics are completely blurred. Yeah, everything's blurred.
Mike, there's nothing you can do that will make that work
unless you unblur your background. Is your background just full of is it just like full of porn, or like is that why you got to blur it all?
My background?
Yeah.
Probably, but I think so. I mean, I
He's
told you the
filming a
Batman
porn
30.
right now.
I told you the Batman 30 story last week, right? Or last episode.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the last porn experience. But Grommets is not full of porn. It's 80s skater punk stuff, high school, written by Brian Posehn and Rick Remender, with art by Brett Parson, who's really great. I recommend pairing it with some Suicidal Tendencies or some Anthrax from the 80s. Joey Belladonna era Anthrax is what I was listening to when I read it today. And I think both of you are kind of too young to remember much about the 80s, but it was a magical period of time where, there were VHS stores everywhere, and there were record stores, and there was 7-Eleven had comic books, and it was kind of like, it wasn't the dawn of the comic book era, but it was like 10 years into the comic book era, like shop era.
Yeah.
And right before you had your Dark Knight and all that stuff happening, but yeah, man, and I myself wasn't a skater back then. I just am not very athletic or coordinated.
That's how I broke my arm. Skating.
Skating?
Yeah.
Well, you'll really identify with the first issue of Grommets.
Oh yeah.
I totally didn't do anything cool. I went over a speed bump and fell on my elbow, but
that's kind of how it goes in this book too. But anyway, it's a really cool book, and the art reminds me of. I don't know if y'all know who Jack Davis is, but he used to do a lot of Mad Magazine, and
Nice.
That's
he
high
did
praise.
the best. Huh?
That's high praise.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Very like expressive, like the facial expression. It's not as much of a caricature kind of stuff as Jack Davis, but it's I like it, and he doesn't like cut corners on the backgrounds either. Like it's the Taco Bell that they show in issue 2. I looked at that and I was like, oh my God, I remember when Taco Bell used to look this like cool and like almost looks like a brick oven or something,
Yeah.
11's the same,
Mm-hmm.
and we see these things pop up on our, well, I don't think, Shane, you're on Facebook so much, but on my Facebook feed, maybe it's because of the stuff I look at online, I get like all these old like toy ads, and I get all these old like the old menu of Taco Bell from 1978 will pop up on my shit for some reason.
Yeah.
And Grommets has that in it. It doesn't have the menu in it. It's like, it's like, oh yeah, I remember that. I remember like the cool girls that smoked cigarettes that I was hoping I could hook up with back in the day and stuff.
No, but
It feels like Stand By Me for the skater punk.
Yeah. No murders yet. We'll see what happens.
But like,
I'm kind of cool.
But
Like if
there
there's
isn't a
ever any,
murder in Stand By Me, they find a dead body. Is
well,
different.
yeah, but it's a plot, and
Yeah.
and so far there's not a whole lot of plot that I'm 2 issues in. It's a 7-issue series. I couldn't really tell you what the plot was, other than it's just these two
They're just hanging
cool
out.
kids. Just two kids. Like one moves to the neighborhood and he makes friends. And they're called Rick and Brian, so I'm assuming Rick Remender and Brian Posehn at a young age in Sacramento, California, 1985. And Rick is the new kid in town, and Brian's kind of like the nerdy metalhead outcast. No offense, Shane.
That's my whole channel.
It would be a good one that you could talk about on your other shows too. Yes. And Brian Posehn's a huge metalhead too, by the way.
Really? Oh, I know. I seen him in an ACDC show. ACDC show. I said, "What's up to him?"
He
Nice
just
dude.
posted on his Instagram today. He's got the new Kerry King album, and he got Pearl Jam.
Yeah, he's a
today,
super
too.
nice guy. He hangs out with Scott Ian from Anthrax a lot because they went to the ACDC show together, and I was like walking down the hall, and then I was like, oh shit! Like I was like, oh look, that's Brian Posehn, and me and my buddy got a picture with him, and then we're like, oh man, I bet he was with Scott Ian back there, and then he turns around, he's like, oh, did you guys see Scott? We're looking for him, and I was like, oh yeah, he's down that way.
That's cool.
Super nice dude.
So that's my first one. Jeffrey, Shane, what do you got? What are y'all reading? Tell me something.
I mean,
go ahead.
I was already talking about it, but Wonder from DC Black Label by Uniba is just, oh man, it's the best comic book DC is putting out. It's so good. It's like the art looks like Mike Mignola mixed with a little bit of manga, and it's the origin of Damian Wayne told through the lens of a Japanese fairy tale, and it's 2 issues in. It's the best Damian Wayne book I've ever read.
Really?
Yeah, and it's not a close race. It is the best Damian Wayne that I have ever read. He just kills it. It's so good. It takes all of the stuff about Damian Wayne that I used to find tedious, and I just found the character to be annoying and exhausting, and just completely doesn't change any of it, and just reframes it in a way that makes you relate to it, that makes you just feel what he's feeling. Because it's got a monologue, it's got an interior monologue, the thought balloons, and you can just tell what he feels by the way he says certain things. And when he talks about the other Robins, and every issue of the book is him interacting with one of the previous Robins, so that he can figure out why his dad loves these guys more than he loves his own flesh and blood. Is basically the way he puts it. And so you're heartbroken because, like, yeah, that's gotta hurt, but also you're like, yeah, but Dick Grayson's awesome, so that's why he loves Dick Grayson. And like by the end of the issue, he doesn't say it out loud, but you see it in the voiceover, and it's like, I kind of understand why Dad loves this guy. And I thought it's just perfect. And then the next issue 2, is all about him interacting with Jason Todd. And it's almost the best Jason Todd story I've ever read, because it breaks it down, and it's doing all this. It's done this all in 2 issues so far, and the whole thing is going to be like 5 issues when it's done, I think. And
oh, that's cool. I could just wait for the trade then.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I would, if I was talking about problems with the business, I think this should have just been a graphic novel. I think it would sell better as just a graphic novel.
Sometimes
because look, I talked you into buying it, but now you still have to wait 5 months for the trade to actually come out.
Exactly. Just because You know, it's like I love these short, like one shots. Like I didn't even pick up the Doctor Doom issue. That was only one issue. For some reason, that's going for a stupid amount of money. I don't know if
can't
that
tell you
dropped.
why. I loved it, but I can't tell you
I
why
don't
it's
know. Did it
expensive.
drop at all? Because I really want to read it, but I'm
No,
not, I don't want to pay like $40 for it.
yeah, I sold everything I had left. They all went for $40.
If I didn't like the cover, I would sell it to you, Shane. But I like the cover. I think the book sucks, but I like the cover.
Can I just read it?
Yeah.
Can you just take pictures of it for me to read?
Sure. I gotta remember.
There's a second print coming out. I ordered it.
Okay, great. But anyway, coming back to these smaller run issues, right now I have the one of the variant covers. I don't know if you could see it, Jeff. I have it pulled up.
Yeah.
Okay, so I figured out how to add media. I got a second screen on there, so I'll just overlay it. Mike, you're shit out of luck. Sorry.
That's okay.
But so whenever we talk about comics and stuff, I'll try to pull it up on this side, or I can pull up a trailer.
Issue 2. That's the Jason Todd.
Yeah,
issue.
because I was saying I see the red hood, the red mask.
Yeah,
on
and
there.
it's just, oh man, it's heartbreaking, and it just does such a good job of breaking down all of these characters to their core components, and it gives you everything about them in their one issue. Like you get the entirety of Jason Todd's story in the one issue, while also forwarding the fairy tale origin of Damien. And it's just this creator gets these characters so well that he is telling you everything you need to know about the character within the single issue. Like I've already said, it's already the best Damian Wayne book I've ever read, but it's also like the best introduction to these characters as well, because it sums them up in such a perfect and succinct way that I can say, like, if you want to know everything about all of the Robins, this is the book for you. And if you think that Robin isn't cool, or if you think any of the Robins aren't cool, you need to read this book because you will immediately understand why they are so cool.
Well, I mean, there's cooler Robins than others. And I think, for me, I love Jason Todd. Damien's always been kind of bratty, but I can see why. You know, he's trying to vie for his father's fucking, you know, how do you say,
yeah, but like
attention?
That is only subtext in like those original stories. You don't see him actually saying, oh God, I just wish my dad loved me.
Mm-hmm.
And you kind of see it in this book, and I just immediately related to him more than I ever related to him in the 100 Damian Wayne books I've read before this.
Your dad loved you.
Yes, but you can see how much it hurts Damien. And like he tells the story of Batman taking Damien out on a patrol, and Damien just cuts this mugger's head off. Like just cuts his head off in front of Batman. And Batman's like, what the fuck? And you can see Damien's thought bubble, and he like immediately knew that he messed up, but only because of the way his father looked at him.
He's like, we're not supposed to kill these bad guys?
He was raised by Ra's al Ghul. This is what you're supposed to do. But he knew that he had done wrong, but only because of the way his dad reacted, not because he like realized what he did was morally wrong. He just wanted to please his dad, and he knew that this didn't please his dad. And so he bonds with Jason Todd over that, because part of the reason that Jason Todd is kind of outside of the Bat circle is because he's willing to go and kill the bad guys. And so they kind of bond over that, and Damien and Jason Todd, you kind of get this alienation from the Jason Todd issue, and you see how Jason Todd feels alienated and how he feels removed from the Batman family. And Damien talks to him in such a way where you're like, oh, just go back home. Go back home, Jason, please. And like I said, it's so good and it's so succinct. I can't believe how much story is in these first 2 issues. Issue 3 comes out this Wednesday. I can't, especially after reading some books that are just decompressed fucking nonsense. Looking at you, Flash, and I'm looking at you, Heir to Apocalypse, fucking garbage, and just nothing happens in a whole issue. You'll read a whole issue and be like, what happened? Where did the plot go? How do I describe this issue to somebody if I'm trying to sell it to them? It's the issue where this guy spouts a bunch of gobbledygook about the Speed Force and numbers. And get the fuck out of here. Whereas every issue of The Boy Wonder, you're like, this breaks down the entire 70-year history of Dick Grayson into one book and gives you every point that you need to completely understand the character. It's like it's the platonic ideal of Robin comic books. It's perfect. These first 2 issues.
Shit, now I want to get all 3 issues, and I don't want to wait for the
I know
trade.
the fucking first issue sold out because as soon as I read it, I'm like, I need to order 10 more copies because I'm going to throw this at everybody who comes to buy comics from me. And they were sold out, and they haven't done second print yet, so I can't do anything. I ordered extras of number 2, but they still haven't announced a second print for number 1, so I had to cut my orders for number 3 because I'm like, I can't tell people to jump into this. I'll just order a bunch of the graphic novels when it comes out.
Yeah, because you can't just jump into it if it's supposed to be a 5-book part.
Especially because the first issue is the reason it's the best Damian Wayne story, so I'm certainly not going to tell you to jump in without reading that first issue.
Yeah. That kind of sucks that you don't get... Did you get a heads up? I mean, I have the previews here where there's something in here, but nobody thought it was going to be as substantial or like...
I mean, I have to admit at least a little bit of a lack of knowledge. I didn't know who Uniba... It looks like Junie, but I believe it's pronounced Uni.
Uniba. What else have they done?
He's done like a Turtles comic book. I really had to plead ignorance. I didn't know, and I saw like the preview artwork. I was like, "Whoa, this looks kind of cool," but I didn't know it was going to be the best damn Robin story I ever read. And by the time I read it and came home on like Wednesday to order more copies, it was sold out. And so I could order more of number 2 and number 3, but that doesn't help you until that second print of number 1 comes out.
We got 15 minutes, boys, if we're keeping it to an hour.
All right, Shane.
I don't think that was
your
no.
pick?
We how was I gonna say? It went. When did we go live? I forget when we went live.
8:30.
We went live pretty much right at the.
Did we?
Right at the.
Oh, because I had the starting screen soon. Anyway, I'll do a speed run then real quick. Destro. Issue number 1, really good. Mm-hmm. I enjoyed it a lot. I think he's a very how do you say underrated G.I. Joe villain. He's working with Cobra Commander. I think you can read this on its own because it goes into some backstory. It goes into some backstory of how he started working with Cobra Commander. Hey, Paul jumped in. What's up, Paul?
It flat out mentions why they're working together. So
yeah.
It's fun to read the Cobra Commander book, but you don't necessarily need to have. They sum up.
That's one thing. Again, I love the Energon universe so far, and
hey, Paul.
Mike doesn't. Yep, Paul's jumping in. Paul's a good dude. He has a Hawaiian death metal band, Ka'ai, and it's very good. Very good stuff. Check that out, everybody. Ultimate Spider-Man, issue number 6, obviously. This was a very pivotal issue, I felt, where, I don't know, should we do a spoiler, or we just leave it as is?
Yeah, no, let's break it down.
Okay.
Because I want to talk about the specific, I know what you're going to talk about.
It's what we always wanted in a Spider-Man comic where he's with Mary Jane, he has kids, and he reveals that he is a superhero to everybody. I mean, it is simply at the dinner date he comes home all screwed up, and everybody's like, what happened to you, you know? Like, he's like, well, I'm kind of a superhero.
Mm-hmm. And I loved how much love there was in it, from the kids and from Mary Jane. And because, like, one of the tropes that I have always hated with the burning fire, is that when they reveal their secret identity, the other person is like, you lied to me, I'm leaving you.
This is like, oh, okay.
And she's like, okay, I need to see the suit, and you're taking me swinging across New York. Let's go.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's exactly what in response would be if you actually loved the other person, because you would have some empathy, and you would be like, I understand why you had to keep this crazy secret. You didn't lie to me about an ex-girlfriend. You're not cheating on me. You have this literally unique to you in the entire fucking universe story, and you didn't know how to share it with me, and I'm glad that you shared it with me now. Because, like, that's what Smallville was like, oh, you have a secret. Oh, I can't believe you had a secret. And I'm like, he's a fucking alien. How do you expect him to tell people that? Like, when in the relationship is the, oh, I'm really an alien conversation supposed to go? And that Mary Jane is just like, okay, I get it. It is perfect. And it's another testament to why they belong together. And just that fact that this is outselling Amazing Spider-Man, I don't know why Marvel can't just fucking see that we want him with Mary Jane, and that it's not bad for the character in any way.
Mm-hmm. No. This is what Spider-Man needed, I felt. Like we said it before, you have Harry Osborn. He's a good guy. Green Goblin is working with Spider-Man? Like, how cool is that, you know? You never would expect that. And, it's just a great book. I love Ultimate Spider-Man. Thank you for turning me on to this, Jeff. This was, I feel like, the best Spider-Man book to come out in a very long time.
Yes.
I feel like
my only criticism is I need more of it. It's a slow burn if you're reading them monthly.
Mm-hmm.
And because I feel like also there's a shoe that needs to fall in that origin story, because part of the origin story is somebody dying because of Peter's inaction. Yeah. And that hasn't happened yet.
I feel like we're going to get that.
I don't know if he's not going to have it happen, but I feel like it kind of has to at some point. And I'm just like, I can feel the tension whenever I pick up an issue. I'm like, is this the one where somebody dies and he has to figure that out?
Oh, yeah. And I feel like the way they're tackling, like, Kingpin and all these villains and everything, like, I think it's really cool. And I think I hope we get to see some classic Spider-Man villains reimagined in this universe.
Oh, you haven't seen the preview. The next storyline is the Sinister Six.
Oh, really?
And the redesigns look fantastic.
Really?
Yeah. Mysterio especially. Oh. I already love I'm a sucker for the original Mysterio costume, and it takes it and just makes it look a little bit creepy. Like if it was in a horror movie almost. It's very cool. I'm excited for that story.
Hell yeah.
It appears to be that Kingpin like hires them all to go fuck up Spider-Man. Looks like that story is.
Well, it's interesting because it seems like metahumans were curbed in this universe, so we'll see if they allowed villains, because we haven't really seen that much of it. You had Deadshot in the last issue as the assassin, but I don't know if he's really metahuman.
You're
Bullseye. Yeah, switching the universe. They're almost the same character, pretty much.
They're the same character. Yes.
But Bullseye. So he's not really a metahuman, though, is he?
Bullseye. They've kind of jostlated, because like sometimes they've said it's a mutant power, and that it's a mutant power that he can't miss. But sometimes they've said it's just that he's the best marksman in the world. I don't know the actual current continuity answer to that
So we'll
question.
see.
But but he does have laced adamantium bones. And I think they were hinting at that as to what the Kingpin had done to himself. Because Kingpin mentions, like,
he got some upgrades and he was like super tough. So at first I was like, holy shit.
He said, if you had attacked me 3 months ago, you would have killed me already. But I had some upgrades. And I think it's that adamantium laced technology thing.
Something. Anyway, moving on. Void Rivals. Void Rivals is really good.
Oh, it's a big issue.
Tying into the Energon universe. We're talking about all like the comics that Mike is like, ugh.
Good.
Very, very good issue, pivotal issue. If we break it down, I believe it's more or less about the how the races of this planet came to be, how do they tie in, and it turns out they were I don't know, it seems like they're cyborgs almost. They came from Cybertron.
The implication is that there's the Autobots, there's the Decepticons, and then there's this offshoot, is the implication from this issue of Void Rivals.
So
that somebody saw the war coming between the Autobots and the Decepticons and left Cybertron and basically started their own race of beings that are kind of a little bit of both, because they definitely have bio body parts. Like they're biological, they're not robots. But like Springer, the Transformer, is like, oh, but you've got an Energon port, I can fix you right up.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So this alien race, they have Energon ports on their head, and they just pour Energon into their bodies, and that's how they were saving. Jesus, I'm terrible with their names. The one chick.
Solila?
Yeah, whatever their name is.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah, they need better, cooler names.
Yeah. Zeratonia. That's the planet's name and everything. But cool art. Very graphic art too. I love it because you have actual Transformers like fucking people up. You know, I love the new.
It's a great fight scene because it's a Transformer versus a normal sized person.
Yeah, look at this. Transformer cutting somebody in half with a sword and everything. Or that dude, he runs away and everything. So it's not the Transformer. So Paul's chiming in real quick, and he has a question. He's like, I'm still pissed. Inhumans and mutants were at the same thing. I thought they were. Are they? Aren't they?
No,
they're not.
The Inhumans
There's
are
a reason for that. They did that, Paul. So it's a movie rights thing, I believe. For a while, the X-Men were owned by Fox, film rights wise. So the MCU side and MCU, Disney kind of also runs the publishing at Marvel. They were trying to say the Inhumans, I don't know, they were kind of like their new version of mutants, while they couldn't mess with mutants in MCU. Am I right, little G? Something like that.
Vaguely, they kind of put the X-Men on the back burner because they didn't want to. Because basically, if they created any new X-Men characters, those characters became Fox movies.
So
like the character,
oh no, they're not X-Men, they're Inhumans. And
like literally, they revealed that was the origin of Kamala Khan. They said she was supposed to be a mutant. She was supposed to be a member of the X-Men when we introduced her. But if we introduced her as an X-Man or a mutant, then she would immediately have been able to be in the Fox movies. So we had to make her an Inhuman instead.
But now that everything is back under the umbrella of Marvel, now everybody can be mutants and happy again.
Yeah.
Yes.
And real quick, also Paul's chiming in. So they didn't really rewrite the origin of Transformers. They're doing a whole new Transformers comic, and it's done under the same brand as Robert Kirkman. He's in charge of it, who's done Walking Dead, and this is a very violent Transformers. So it's pretty good.
I see you, Paul, talking. You're reminiscing about old comics, but say you're not reading too much right now. I really think you would like the Transformers. The first graphic novel is out.
Yeah.
It's more than meets the eye.
Yeah. You basically have what Starscream.
So good.
Yeah, Starscream splats somebody, and like it's very bloody.
Yeah, like the first issue
is they didn't try to reinvent the wheel with it.
Yeah.
For Daniel Warren Johnson is a big wrestling fan, and that shines through in the action sequence book.
Oh yeah.
Oh, definitely.
If you like Transformers and you like wrestling, that's your comic.
I feel like it kind of almost points out how bad fight scenes are in other comic books by having the fight scenes be so well choreographed, because you can see that they're wrestling moves, and and that gives it a completely unique look. Whereas when you really think about it and look at like Spider-Man fight scenes, it's all just the same thing. It's kind of like, here's a punch, throwing in a kick every once in a while. And this looks like the guy mapped out the entire fight.
Really good fight scenes.
Yeah, and really just makes it feel far more real than when you're reading other comic books and there are fight scenes. Like I just read the big Superman versus Brainiac, and there's gigantic fight scenes that are supposed to be like shaking the planet, and they just look like every single fight scene in every comic book ever. There's just nothing special put into the choreography of the fight scene. And I cannot say that about Transformers. Every single fight scene looks like they put a lot of thought into how this should look and how we can make this feel like it's different than every other fight you've ever seen.
And there's battle damage and shit too, right? Like when they get
it's great.
Like a
it's
dent,
great.
And it's consistent. So it's kind of cool. I'm not reading the Transformers book, but I have looked at it. I got the first issue. I'm trying to keep it lean and mean on my. I'm very unsuccessfully. My FOC is growing every week, isn't it, Little G?
Yeah. No, you cut down some variants.
I did. I don't know.
You only got one copy of Detective instead of multiple copies.
Oh, I normally only mess with the A cover on it, but Batman, I get all the covers, the regular Batman. And then I'm getting hip to these artists like Pablo Villalobos and
he's very
Mike Sean Galloway. I get every one of his. I used to get every one of Peaches, but she does so much. I'm getting the ones that really zap me, and then I get all X-Men, which is great. Who else am I? Oh, Art Germ. Sometimes I'll go in on some Art Germ. Not every single time, but Pablo Villalobos. I was trying not to become a fan, dude, and I just melted on him. I'm like, that sounds weird, but no, I'm digging his stuff a lot. And he does. I mean, and Sozo Micah I don't know if it's going to be a cover or what it's going to be, but she showed some Batgirl art yesterday that just looks so awesome, and it's not. You can accuse her of doing like the typical sexy covers, a lot. But this, it's sexy, but it's just so different, and in the way the colors are and the positioning and all it's really good. So.
Oh hell yeah! I'll do real quick. My last 3 comics, because I read a few more. I don't have them on me, but I just want to do a quick shout out to White Boat. I really enjoyed this. White Boat is really so good, and I think. Hey, take it easy, Paul. Thanks for watching. At least chiming in. Paul is a great friend of the channel, and he's definitely going to check out some comics. But. Anyway, White Boat, I really love it because it's got that Lovecraftian feel, like the Twilight Zone feel, and it's written by Scott Snyder, and
art by Francisco Francavilla. Gorgeous comic book.
And I love this wide issue cover.
Is that Distillery that put that out?
Yeah. I never heard of Distillery.
I fucking hate the goddamn magazine-sized comic books, but it is an amazing comic book.
Hey, what's up, Trevor? Shredbeard is in the house, another great guitarist, also a long-time nerd and friend of the channel. I just met up with him yesterday at City Walk, and we had lunch. And he's from San Francisco.
Shredbeard?
Shredbeard, Trevor. Shredbeard. He jams on the guitar. I'll have to show you guys some of his licks. But, yes, White Boat, really good. I love this art. The art is
The art is
Simply.
stunning. The story is great. Like, it grabs me, man. Like, I'm like, whoa. Oh, there's an old version of the boat in the boat? I got to know about this boat.
I know. That's what I'm saying. You get stuck in like this like endless cycle. Like the boat has been around for like thousands of years or something, and there's like the museum
Well, and they
in there.
have like original Hitchcock movies that were never released because they were just made for people to watch on the boat.
Yeah,
There was a movie called Lifeboat, I believe.
Yeah.
You know that?
no.
I don't know
yeah.
if it's anything to this comic, but yeah.
And
I gotta
then
go get my laundry in a minute, fellas.
it's okay. Go do your laundry. We could bullshit some more, unless you gotta go too, Mike. Unless you want to chime in.
No. I can hang. I was gonna hang till the end, but
Yeah.
I didn't know how much longer you guys wanted to go.
Yeah, I'm sorry we didn't even get to our main topic, and we got some comics to give away. I want to give away the first issue of the Energon series. Each thing, right? We're still doing
What's the
that.
next topic?
We were doing animation and movies. Just a real quick overview of the Marvel and DC universe, because I feel like DC has been coming along with some really strong animation stuff. But again, their films suck. And then Marvel has been flopping lately, and their animation sucks. And their comics are lacking too, except for Ultimate Spider-Man, and Immortal Thor is actually pretty good. But, like, you know what I'm saying?
Marvel animation out? Oh, well, I know we did X-Men 97, but what else is there?
X-Men, yeah.
What if?
What if?
That was... Well, most of what I saw was good.
That's the thing. I haven't really heard of anything animation-wise on Marvel's end as opposed to DC. I just watched the new Suicide Squad anime, Isekai, Suicide Squad Isekai. Have you guys checked that out yet?
No.
It's on HBO Max. Really good. It's all in Japanese.
Okay.
It's done by Warner Brothers Japan. So it's like a really good anime of Suicide Squad.
Okay.
And so it's adapting an isekai anime, which an isekai anime is like a fan. It's basically, it usually centers around, if anybody corrects me watching this, correct me if I'm wrong, but it centers around a person from a modern era going into a fantastical fantasy setting. So this is funny because Amanda Waller, I think she's using Enchantress to channel her power to open up a portal to this fantasy realm. And then she sends the Suicide Squad in there, straight up Amanda Waller style, like, we need their resources. We're going to go steal everything. It's your suicide thing. And you have a really good version of Clayface. I'll actually put the trailer up in a second. And it's just really cool. Like, I'll put it up right now. But
and they've got My Adventures with Superman is fantastic.
I haven't checked
Harley
that
Quinn
out yet.
is amazing.
I loved Harley Quinn, but isn't that canceled now?
No, there's one more season.
I don't think so.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I thought it was canceled too, but I was corrected. As
The
one
new
more
Batman
season.
trailer came out.
Yep, the Batman trailer. It
Yeah.
looks okay. I want to be more excited about it, but it's Bruce Timm. I don't know if it's actually Paul Dini.
Maybe not,
And
yeah.
but like Ed Brubaker and Greg Rucka worked on it too, so it's got a lot of pedigree. I'm definitely willing to
And
give
Matt
it a chance.
Reeves is involved in producing it too, who did the Batman movie. And it's throwback to the old OG Batman, Bob Kane, Detective 27.
Yeah, and on the other side though, there is going to be a new Spider-Man animated series that comes out really soon.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah, he's in high.
yeah, back to high school.
Here, I got the Isekai trailer popped up, but I know you can't watch it, Mike, but I know Jeff can a little bit.
I'll watch it later.
Yeah, but it's I'll put that on right there for everybody else to see. But just the animation is fucking amazing. I really had a great time watching. There's only 3 episodes out right now. It's on HBO Max. Oh, and while this is playing, real quick, I wanted to plug one more comic because I didn't have it. Is Feral? I love Feral. It's so good.
Oh yeah.
And the latest issue, it's just I can't say I've never felt, especially now I got a cat, and I'm like, oh, I feel how it is to have a cat. But anybody's not familiar with Feral, stray dogs, great comic about stray dogs because their owner was a serial killer, and spoiler alert, he every time he kills a chick, he takes their dog. And all these dogs have short-term memory, so they don't know what the hell's going on, and they're trying to figure out like, wait, we had other people before, and I can't remember them anymore. It's heartbreaking. Really good though.
Yeah, so good.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm watching this preview. I'm gonna watch this.
It is so good.
Yeah.
Is it a series or a movie?
It's a series. It's only 3 episodes in. I've watched the first 2 episodes. I need to catch up and watch the 3rd episode, but it's really good. I really liked it, and I just think the animation is so good. Just because,
yeah, that Harley Quinn animation is gorgeous.
Looks great, right? But the Clayface they got, he's like an arrogant actor, and he's like a pretty boy, which is hilarious, you know. And then there's, not even to spoil this one scene, I'll just give the context of a scene where they're in a dungeon, and they're all trying to figure out like, how do we break out of here? What the hell's going on? We need to get out of here. And then Clayface is like, this is setting us up for the protagonist to escape and to save his comrades. And he slips through the jail cell, and everybody's like, you could have done that the whole time. We've been in here hours. He's like, I needed the motivation to do it, you know? And then they're like, guards! Like Harley Quinn and Deadshot, they're all like, fuck this guy. And then the guards come and put a magical bracelet on him so he can't use his powers. He's like, why'd you guys do that? We could have gotten out of here. No, well, he's like, well, shit. They threw him back in there, and then they're like, okay, now how do we get out of here? You could get out again, right? But you got to take us all with you. He's like, I can't transform anymore. They put the magical gauntlets on me. They're like, oh, shit. So they didn't think about that. It's pretty funny. And then King Shark's in there just like, you know, doing King Shark stuff. It's just weird. Like in the Harley Quinn series, they made him more sentient and like more there. Yeah. But in the everything else, he's just kind of an idiot.
Yeah.
Sylvester
Stallone voiced him in the live action one, right?
Yeah. I've seen just so
good.
many different iterations of King Shark where he's either like kind of smart or really dumb or like whatever, but who knows? But again, this all chimes into how I feel about DC's animation is so good. Marvel's, and I never heard anybody tell me, besides X-Men 97, that is the only Marvel animated series. I kind of watched some of What If. I like the Marvel Zombies one. I wish they would have expanded. Give me a Marvel Zombies animated series, you know, that'd be great.
I think they're going to.
Really?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I have a feeling a lot of these Marvel things they've announced are going to wind up not happening, but that's another topic for next week or next month.
Yeah.
So, but hey guys, I do have to bounce because I got to, but you guys keep it going.
And give me some hot takes on animation or the movie series real quick, Mike.
For me?
Yes.
For the animated or
just the entire? Just give me your pick. Who's stronger right now? Who do you think is gonna come out in the long run? Go.
Well, I mean, Marvel, don't
just
even
TV
consider
shows,
the
movies,
Sony,
everything.
The Sony Marvel stuff, forget about it. It's all shit. Deadpool Wolverine's going to be a lot of fun, I think. I think it's going to do really well. And I think from what I see on the horizon, I'm going to say something a little controversial, but it's based on some things that I know. I think that's going to be kind of the last hurrah. I'm not saying there's not going to be any more Marvel MCU stuff coming out, but this is kind of like the last thing that people are going to really care about until they totally just hit the reset button on the MCU. I don't see a whole lot of excitement for Captain America Brave New World. Comes out February 14th, comes out on Valentine's Day. It's not really a great day to put a movie out, although the first Deadpool came out around Valentine's Day. But Ryan Reynolds' Deadpool has kind of an appeal to guys and girls. It was a funny movie, so it wasn't like a superhero movie where you need 15 years of universe knowledge to go in. And Captain America Brave New World has gone through major
Oh yeah, you said you got the inside scoop.
Yeah, well, yeah. I don't know how much they changed, but it was extremely confusing. The first version of the screenplay and what they shot. There's a lot of mind control and stuff happening in the movie, and it gets pretty confused. It was muddled.
It's going with Anthony Mackie's character, right?
Yeah, but the villain is the leader.
Who's the villain?
Well, in the original, I don't know. We'll see what happens. But I'm friends. I can't say too much, but I'm friends with
yeah.
somebody who was affiliated with the film on the production, your pre-production screenwriting level of it, and I don't want to get anybody in trouble, but
So
said it's a mess.
So next, all right. So the next batch of movies and animation for both DC and Marvel,
Well,
let's say the next few years, who do you think's going to come out stronger, or do you think they're both going to suck because of the superhero fatigue that's going on?
Well, DC is going to be fresh. Superman looks great. James Gunn is running it. James Gunn understands comics right now with the MCU. Kevin Feige understands comics. But he's got a lot of people making these movies that are from TV that aren't necessarily comic book people. They don't even understand comics. And they've done a lot of the big stories that, like Civil War was, I think, a great comic book that was easy to adapt into a great movie. Secret Invasion, we saw what happened there. You got somebody who didn't understand what made the comic great, and just made and you know, Sam Jackson's a great actor, and his Nick Fury's great, but that show was just a dud with a thud, man.
Yeah.
I don't know who watched Echo. It might be good. I didn't watch it. I used to catch everything, but then it got to be like a lot, and then a lot of it wasn't as entertaining. So I didn't. I do plan on catching Echo eventually, but I'm not excited. I'm not excited about Agatha Harkness or whatever.
That's what I'm saying. What is? I think they're going to use her to retcon a bunch of shit. Maybe.
I don't think so, but you stop with the multiverse, and stop with the retcon. I don't see everybody that's ever played Spider-Man or everybody that's ever, whatever. I don't need. I mean, that was cute once. Now stop. I don't need to see every Wolverine and different Wolverines and all that.
And
shit,
I know the Blade movie's gone over. Up there you go. Bye, Mike. We will forever remember Mike. Because Mike has gone into the business, but if you want to keep going for a bit, Jeff, because we still got there's people watching.
I got to go in a couple minutes, but we can wrap up the conversation.
Okay. Strongest studio you think coming out right now?
I mean, I'm going to piggyback on what Mike was saying. DC is going to win the next 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
But part of that is because they've lost the last 10, and so they've got almost nothing good that they've actually done. Like, the only thing that they've done well is Batman. And there's an infinite amount of great Batman stories that you can tell, so they can keep making good Batman movies. All they got to do is a good version of these characters, and they're going to crush it, whereas Marvel has used up all of the good versions of their characters. I would say that every single bit of Marvel's success rides on the Wolverine aspect of Deadpool Wolverine, because that's the mutants going forward. How are we doing that? They haven't even announced an X-Men movie, which seems fucking flabbergasting. They've owned the rights for 3 or more years. They should have shelved everything that they had so that they could put all their money into making an X-Men movie, but they didn't. So we're stuck here. And Fantastic Four. Because they lost those rights and they only just got them back. That's really all Marvel has left right now, because they went with the idiotic idea of tying the characters to the actors, like having Black Panther die was the dumbest fucking idea. I cannot believe that a group of people in charge of making money came up with that idea.
I mean, I guess they were like, oh, we need to honor the actor and everything, but they could have.
No, you need to fucking honor Jack Kirby and Stan Lee, who created the characters
and
30
you
years before that dude was born.
And kept it going. Exactly.
That's insulting to the character to say they didn't stop publishing fucking Marvel Comics when Stan Lee died. It's stupid. It's stupid. And okay, you could shelve him for a while as deference to the actor, or you replace him right away and with a different character playing Black Panther. But the whole movie, there's no Black Panther in the fucking Black Panther 2. And it just, that was so stupid.
Yeah, they could have.
Now they're stuck that they can't have a Captain America movie, they can't have an Iron Man movie. All of their successful characters, they've just kind of put in a Viking longboat and lit on fire. And so all they have left is Fantastic Four and X-Men. And so if those two don't work, Marvel is going to need to hit the panic button. If those two work, there's a lot of stories that are untapped that they haven't done, that they can now do. But if they don't work, then Marvel's bag of tricks looks suddenly empty. Whereas you go over at DC, and because they've never done a good Superman movie in my lifetime, they have the chance to do something fresh because it'll be the first good Superman movie in our lifetime. And the same with Green Lantern and The Flash, and they did one good Wonder Woman
Aren't
movie.
they doing a Green Lantern? New Green Lantern?
Yeah, they just announced like a TV show about the Lanterns, like for HBO Max, I believe.
Who would? All right. Yeah. Oh, go ahead.
But
Sorry.
DC has a bunch of stuff to do because they haven't done a good job. So they have a blank slate that James Gunn gets to start with.
Yeah, they just need an entirely new reboot of their universe. Real quick, everybody's asking right now, Pirate is asking who would be a good actor for the next Batman if they keep with the same actor from Twilight, Robert Pattinson. I thought he was all right. What's your take on the new Penguin show coming out? I'm excited for it. I think it looks pretty good.
It's an interesting pitch. I'll give them that for sure. So I think it's going to be good because I don't think they would bother to make a Penguin movie or TV show unless they had a good idea, if that makes sense. But that's the opposite of the credit that I'm giving Marvel, whereas I'm like, why would you do Echo? I don't get it. I will certainly give it a chance, but it does seem a weird decision to do a Penguin.
Yeah. I mean, they're trying to go for the dark, gritty, more grounded Penguin rather than the fantastical Penguin that we see in the comics or like the, the Batman movies, 1989 Batman. Was he in the? Which one was he? He was in the first one, right? The first Batman movie. That.
The Batman. What?
Yeah, the Batman, 1989 one, right?
Oh, that's just Batman.
Tim Burton's one.
Yeah.
Okay,
no, he was in the second one.
He's in the second one.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Yeah, but hey, let's do this right now, everybody, because we got people popping in the chat.
Yeah.
If you type in exclamation point giveaway, you can win the first issue of not the first printing, but the second or third printing issues of the entire Energon universe, which let's include Scarlet and Destro, right?
Yeah, we can throw those.
Okay, so you can win a prize pack right now. Here's what we got. We got you a Duke comic. You got the first issue of Transformers, Scarlet, Destro, Cobra Commander, and Void Rivals. It's 6 issues, right?
Yep.
So
that's right, 6.
6 issues. So everybody, let's do the hashtag giveaway. And come on, everybody, type in.
For Batman, you know who I think would do I think Jensen Ackles could do a really good job as Batman.
Who is he now? While we got the giveaway going? Jason,
they were
what?
asking who could be Batman.
No, I know. What's his name? Jason
Jensen Ackles.
Jensen.
He was the older brother in Supernatural.
Oh.
He just was the Captain America character in The Boys. I can't remember his name. Soldier Boy.
Yes.
He's really good at being brooding, and he's also really good at being funny. And I think that that's what you've got to do for Batman, especially if he's going to be taking part in like the entire DC universe and not just be off in his own little corner. Because I think that was the one thing that was kind of missing from Pattinson. And like, yeah, Batman's brooding, but there's also a relatability there. I think that's why like Christian Bale was so great as Batman. Because like he also played Bruce Wayne. I feel like in that The Batman movie, they didn't really have Bruce Wayne. Like he was walking around as Bruce Wayne, but Bruce Wayne wasn't a character in the movie, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
He was just Batman. And I think that the Bruce Wayne is important. And I think that like when you look at all of the best Batman, there is still some levity to it. Like you look at Batman the Animated Series, there's some jokes in it. He's still dark, he's still brooding, he still wants to fuck up crime, but there's something relatable there that I don't think was in The Batman.
I feel you. But I will say what we are missing too is a Batman Dark Age story, because if anybody has read this yet, please read Batman Dark Age, because it goes off of what are you going to do when your parents, were murdered and you inherit billions of dollars. You're going to go party and everything. And this Batman...
I think Pattinson would kill it in an adaptation of that.
Yes.
Man, he would be good for that particular story.
Jeff Bridges, Batman. There we go. Everybody, we got the running going on so far. We got it set for,
Let's just jump up to Batman Begins, to Batman Beyond, and then we can have Clint Eastwood as Batman.
Clint Eastwood as Batman, or at least I think we are overdue for a live-action adaptation of Batman Beyond. I loved Batman Beyond so much. Growing up as a kid, and I thought it was good. Honestly, it was hard to see that as a kid's show, because that was kind of violent,
Yeah, no, there was, was like the drug episode. There was the episode with Mr. Freeze is the most heartbreaking episode of a TV show ever. Oh man, it's such a good show.
What did you think about the new Batman Caped Crusader? The Prime show, actually. Christopher Lloyd is Batman. John Goodman is Batman. Let's check this out, everybody. If you haven't watched the new Batman Caped Crusader, this is new. It's
not out yet.
It's not out yet. This is the trailer.
This is an ad. This would be a commercial, yeah.
Yeah, this is the trailer for it. Let's check this out. As I put it in between our... We're going to get this format down, everybody. We really thank you for everything coming in. Appreciate it so much. 1 second. Trying to see... But yeah, I think this looks good. You were saying you didn't like it? The animation didn't look right? Whereas, it looks like it's following the old Batman animated stuff. Yeah. The 90s stuff.
Oh, no, I don't think that at all.
You don't think so?
It's going for a classic 1940s vibe, which I definitely am digging. And the animation of Batman looks pretty cool, but the car looks terrible.
Yeah.
Because it's so obviously a computer dropped onto an animated background.
Ed O'Neill's Batman. Oh, that Harley. If that is Harley. Real quick, everybody. In 2 minutes, the giveaway and winner will be announced. Please, if you're watching, Explanation point giveaway. You don't need to do it again if you already entered. We got a bunch of people in it already to win it. You're going to win the first issue, not the first printing, of the Energon universe, which we were talked about with the new Transformers, or the new G.I. Joe stuff, as well as Void Rivals. And this is a great, great fucking series. But you have 2 minutes, or 1 minute now, everybody, if you're watching. Exclamation point giveaway. Type that in. You may win some comics. Let's do this. John Cena is Batman.
That car just looks terrible. Looks so bad.
I could see that. I don't
Everything,
know.
the character designs look great.
Yeah.
Like the costumes look great. The Two-Face looked great. There's a lot of stuff that looked great, but that computer animation on top of it is just like fingernails on a chalkboard. Why would you do that?
Yeah. Oh, I know. But, so let's say, I'm still going to watch it. I love old...
I'm not saying that it's going to be bad. I think it's going to be pretty good. I just didn't... The animation of that commercial didn't grab me. I'm excited because of the names that I know are involved.
That's what
I'm saying. And they know how to do good Batman. So that part makes me excited.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens. I'm still going to watch it, but again, everybody should watch Suicide Squad Isekai. It's fucking really great.
Definitely check that out. That looks so cool.
We hit 10 p.m.
And you should all be checking out My Adventures with Superman.
Was that on Adult Swim, right?
Yeah, I guess it is technically Adult Swim, but then I'm watching it on Max.
Hey, congratulations to Shredbeard. You won a bunch of comics. I already have your information, and I will get your address to send all this stuff up to you, dude. Again, I thank you for everybody entering. We only had, I think, like 6 or 7 people enter, I think. Or no, we had like 4 or 5 people enter. Anyway, this is just starting out, and this is our way of giving back, and I like the support everybody. I like to support Jeff. I've been going to his comic book store for a very long time, and we have a lot more stuff going on. I guess we'll start wrapping this up then, Jeff. We got our winner. I'll get all that information. Congrats. I'll get those comics from you, and we'll figure out how to ship it out to him. I know Shredbeard. I'll get his information. He's up in Frisco, so we'll figure out a good way to ship it to him and everything.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to add? Does anybody else in the chat have any questions for us regarding the new era of superhero movies? Anybody have any last minute thoughts? Who do you think stronger, DC or Marvel? What do you think? What do you got? I will say, did you watch any more of Acolyte? I stopped watching Acolyte.
I'm 3 episodes in. If they're not gonna count the prequels as continuity, can they just tell us that? Like, can they say, look, we're gonna pretend they don't exist? Because when they started, they said, we're erasing every bit of continuity except for the movies. They came out and said that when Disney bought Star Wars. But they're obviously not counting those 3 movies, which are still fucking terrible, and they're worse than the new movies. I'm sorry, you idiots, but they are much worse. They're so much worse.
I will die on my Jar Jar Hill. Jar Jar was the best thing to come out of the fucking prequels, and they're way better than anything Disney's put out.
Just bad. They're unwatchable. They make no sense.
The new Disney stuff makes no sense.
They spit on the original trilogy with almost every scene. The fucking Jedi are apologize for slave traders in the first movie.
That is true. They're like, well, that's the thing.
Get out of here with that shit.
People do that.
Can't stop them.
We can't stop them all. I'm like, you guys are like.
So why wasn't that the reason that Anakin goes crazy and kills the Jedi?
Exactly.
Like, you could have had a Darth Vader origin story where people were rooting for Darth Vader. And they literally planted the seeds to do it, and then instead decided to have a conversation between him and the Emperor in a movie theater where the Emperor says, hey, what if I just promise you that your wife won't die? Will you kill a bunch of babies for me? And he says, yes. Instead of, hey, man, the Jedi's allowed your mother to be a slave. They're not the good guys.
Yeah. They accepted slavery as a way of life.
And
yeah, his character direction was terrible.
The other thing that like the prequels just did thing after thing that was just stupid. And then the other thing they did was they said that you could only be a Jedi if you're a baby. Because the kid was like 6 years old, and they said, "Oh, that's way too old. We can't do this. This kid is too old." And then the Acolyte starts with like a 10-year-old becoming a Jedi, and then her trainer says that he had to be removed from his family when he was 4 to become a Jedi. So now they have 2 more examples of people who were
older.
Old. Of every story of every character that becomes a Jedi became a Jedi after the point that the prequels make. The prequels say you have to be a baby to be a Jedi, but yet every single origin story of a Jedi that we have revealed does not have that being the case. And so they're saying that the prequels didn't happen, but they're not saying it.
No, but
and
what was it?
And like, oh, the Acolyte. Yeah, it's not good. It's so bad.
The Acolyte is terrible. Not for what I hate it when everybody's saying like, oh, everybody doesn't like it because it's got female leads or all this shit. It's like, no, it's terribly written. It's written awful. Like, it's just, I didn't even put that phrase. I wrote that sentence I just said terribly. That's how Acolyte has been written, you know? But, like, that third episode where it's just, it was really dumb when it revealed the whole plot behind, like, here's spoilers here. If you're going to watch The Acolyte, we're going to spoil at least the main point for the villain's, villainy. Where it's like, oh, I tried to kill everybody, but the Jedi didn't. The Jedi made me kill my family. Like, that was pretty stupid, right? You know.
But also, just going back to that, like, all of the witches are like, what? Why did the witch girl want to be a Jedi? Like, and there's never, they just say, oh, the Jedi are bad. The witches never say why they think the Jedis are bad. Because that could have been a story that could make you understand these characters and their motivations.
I thought
instead they just say, we don't like the Jedi. Also, why are they fucking called witches?
I thought they were going to be the Dathomir witches or something like that, and I thought it was going to be like...
why are you using an Earth word?
Yeah, exactly. But no, so okay, so that's extended connotation. That's extended universe stuff. The Dathomir witches, who were like some of the first like Sith, because they practiced that kind of dark side. They were more in tune with the dark side of the Force. They like rode Rancors and stuff. It's all extended universe stuff. So they were witches. But
that's thought, not a good. That's just they have made up names for every goddamn thing in this movie. Why did they not make up? Why weren't they the Strillmores or the Gliblabs?
The Gliblabs. But no,
because they called themselves witches, and I started laughing. It's like, witches?
They're doing witchcraft and shit. I don't know. I thought it was going to be like, I thought
then
the
motive having an orgy in the moonlight, and
exactly.
I'm like, what am I watching?
I thought the motivation was going to be something deeper, like, oh shit, they're like practicing the dark side of the Force. The Jedi have to exterminate them.
Well,
that would have been cooler. And it's like, oh shit, like, yeah, the Jedi had to take out my family because they were like practicing the wrong side of the Force or some shit. But instead, it was just stupid.
And then the Jedi show up because they know they have the kids. And in that conversation, the witches say the Republic we're not part of the Republic, so the Republic doesn't have any laws here. And then the next sentence the Jedi say is, we have a right to
take your kids.
Investigate anybody with force powers.
Yeah.
And I'm like, but the last sentence you said was that you have no power here. So the Republic has power, doesn't have power, but the Jedi do have power?
Yeah.
And the literal right to investigate children, even though these children are far beyond the age that they would be allowed to join the Jedi Order as established in episode 1.
It was so stupid. Like, I literally thought, again, if they would have made them practicing the dark side, where it was like kind of a neutral force, where it's like, oh shit, they're practicing the wrong side of the force, and like, oh shit, these Jedi have to go take them out, and then they, like, the kids were alive and they didn't want, or something like that. Because when the assassin twin went to go kill that one sleeping Jedi, he was like, he had to meditate for 10 years and he's just been in this cryo state or something because he's so guilty of what happened. And then she's like, I know what you did. And he's like, I feel so guilty, let me drink the poison. What did you do? What did you do? She burned down everybody. She killed everybody. It was so stupid.
Yeah, it's just, I thought they had like a team of writers and editors that like make sure that everything jives with every other thing that was done so that the continuity makes sense. And I'm like, I didn't dream that sequence where they said that Anakin was too old, and then these actresses are 5 years older than that kid was. So why are the Jedi even here? Who cares? And they've never, ever done a good job of explaining like what people with the Force are supposed to do if they don't become Jedi. Right? Because there is not a single Force user who is not a member of the Jedi or the Sith. I just showing what, like, oh, hey, they're just normal people who want to live their lives and happen to have Jedi powers, but they don't want to be ascetic monks that don't get to bone, so they did their own thing.
Yeah, that's how it should be. It's like, you want to be a Sith, you get to bone. You want to be a Jedi, you get a sexless life that sucks. You know?
You're not allowed to be happy. You're not allowed to love anybody.
Yeah.
You have to just listen to what your boss says.
I feel
and that's
like
the only thing you get to do.
I feel like what Star Wars really needs is an adult-oriented Star Wars, like almost like I won't say have the Game of Thrones people write it because they fucking flubbed it on the last 2 seasons, last season and a half or whatever. But I'm just saying we need something adult-oriented. I wish they would have told the Sith story as, like we said, they get to love. The Sith were kind of, how do you say, more indulgent of life. And I wish it would have shown the breakaway between the dark side and the light side of the Force. That would be something to explore, and I think that would be way cooler. Like, oh, the light side of the Force is more like meditation and that, and then the dark side is like, hey, we're embracing our a life. We want to love.
Yeah,
we want
to, there's mutants that aren't on the X-Men and aren't on the Magneto's Brotherhood of Evil Mutants. There's mutants that just want to be left alone, and like Star Wars just doesn't know how to handle that. Like, they seem to have a panic attack when a character like that shows up and says, "Oh no, they've got to join the Jedi right now." It's
and the
just
choreography,
weird because it's like, you guys wrote this. Nobody held a gun to your head and made you write this.
And I just hate that they're trying to cop it out. Like, read some article saying like Star Wars fans are like don't know what they're missing or some shit. They're the most toxic fandom. I'm like, what do you mean toxic fandom? This is a fandom that has been established way before I've been alive. You're talking about the people supporting this entire industry of Star Wars is adults. Let's face it. The adults grew up with this. They're getting their kids into it. They're buying their kids this shit. But if they don't like what's being put out, if I had kids right now, I'd be like, nope, you're only watching the original trilogy and like I don't know, maybe Rogue One. Rogue One was cool. I liked Rogue One a lot. That got some, like, it was a good...
Andor's great.
Andor, it's like a heist show. It got too slow for me. I need to finish it. I'm like halfway through it. But there's like bits and pieces of Star Wars that I would show, you know, and be like, hey, look, and here's some good games. Here's some really good comics. But all this other stuff, no, don't touch that. But that's what it's limiting, and I hate that when they start judging the fan base for it.
My wife has said they just need to reboot the episodes 1, 2, and 3 because that's really where it goes off the rails.
As long as they bring back Hayden Christensen, I think he needs a redemption because he had some shit writing.
Yeah, I think that he was pretty cool in the Kenobi show.
Kenobi was a fucking disappointment. That show bummed the fuck out of me. I am sorry. I am sorry. Did you like Kenobi?
I didn't hate it. I thought,
but it was whatever.
Thought that it gave Christensen a chance to actually do some acting.
That was cool. But the whole aspect of like, oh, Obi-Wan never met Leia and all of this, I'm like, you're what is this? Like, there was no
It's almost like the prequels don't make any sense.
Right? But I didn't like... I was like, okay, well, Flea is in Star Wars now at least, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But I mean...
he's in everything. He's in Back to the Future. He's in Star Wars.
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. And it's just... fuck, man. Like, oh, look, Pirate's saying, imagine having Jedi powers as like a regular guy and showing off the bar. Like, I want to show, this would be a great pitch for a show. Like, kind of like a sitcom Star Wars show. Like, somebody who got their force powers late, and he's just at a bar one day, like Pirate's saying, he's just like, oh shit, like, look at all this cool stuff I can do. And everybody's like,
yeah, well, like, imagine a character like Han Solo or someone similar,
and he
like
gets
going through and using it to like gamble.
Yeah.
So like, we have like a rogue gambler
that would be
travels the worlds.
See,
and basically steals from people using his Jedi powers.
I don't want I want some like a neutral, like a chaotic good where he's like, yeah, he's a smuggler. He didn't want to be in the Jedi Order. He has force powers, but he can also like know right from wrong. He's like, well, I'm not going to go kill anybody, but I'm definitely stealing and doing these things, you know?
We have a special guest.
Hey.
Say hi.
My mom telling
Mama, oh, yeah.
What's your favorite Star Wars movie?
Okay, tell them what your mom just told me to do. Told you to do.
Fill out and tap my.
So I got to close it down, guys.
Yeah, no problem. So let's close this out real quick. Thank you, Jeff, for joining me. Thank you, everybody, for joining me.
I will. I'll be right back.
Trevor won some comics. We hope we're going to do this once a month, give away some comics and everything. We appreciate you all tuning in. We're going to have a better format. We're going to have better media, better images, better all sorts of stuff.
Yes. But, if you enjoyed this at all, you're going to love the next episode.
Yeah, I hope. And it's not too far to announce that we may have some other special guests, other people joining us that we're trying to do in the future. Lots of good stuff ahead. Really appreciate you guys coming and hanging out. So until next time, everybody, take it easy and read some comics.
Yeah.
Cheers, everybody. Take it easy, Jeff. Thank you so much.